What's up, everybody? Love and light, peace and blessings. It is me, your girl, Catelayah, coming at you guys with the final episode of All Things Poly. Now, I told y'all we might bring it back, but right now, your girl is tired. I done did all of these interviews, and I'm like, okay, so we gonna end it, but I wanted to save the best for last. And so I always let my guests introduce themselves. And so we're gonna start with you guys introducing yourself. Let everybody know who you are. Let everybody know your social media outlets and things like that.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having us on your show. It is a privilege and an honor. We really hope that we have a great build, and we know a lot of people are interested in this topic. So this is always fun for us to try to break down a little bit about what we experience and what we practice in this poly lifestyle. But if you guys are unaware of me, I'm Kevin Wesley. You can find me at Kevin Wesley B on Instagram, Kevin Wesley B the Evolution on Facebook, Kevin Wesley the Truth Factory on YouTube. I'm actually a known public speaker, a life coach, mentor, spiritual guru, you name it. I do public speakings and things like that. People come from all over the world to hear me speak. If you're unfamiliar, I made a video about 4 years ago after I left religion. And that video went viral, and I became known off of that. And since then, I've been plugging away trying to help wake people up. Okay, that's it for me.
My name is Lacey LeBeau. My handles are on Facebook, Lacey LeBeau, Moments of Clarity, and Lacey LeBeau _rise on Instagram. I'm a life coach, model, and a poet. Goodness, and shoot, I'm just on my way. I'm on my way.
And extremely beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I was gonna say I'm working hard. Working hard, building my platforms up, and just really glad to see that the hard work is paying off. So I'm just in a really good place at the moment.
All right. Hello, I am Jamie. You can find me on Facebook, Jamie Tanae Rise, and on Instagram, Jamie Tanae _rise. And I'm just here. I'm just here.
And beautiful too.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. Too.
Don't get on here catching now. I'm dabbling. We have a lot of things coming up. I do have the DIY with the Rise Family page. So that's going to be a lot of little surprises later. So to be continued.
Okay, I love them DIYs, girl. So you're going to have to inbox me because I'll be all up in it.
Got it.
And her art is bomb. Her art is bomb. I said, don't let her not put that part in there. The paintings are bomb.
She over there being humble and stuff.
I know, right?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I just want to get to know you guys. I just really want people to get to know you. I know, they see you and they see the hype and everything is beautiful or whatever, but let's talk about who are you? Like, let's get to know who you are. What do you like to do? Like, what are your goals? What are your hobbies? What is your day-to-day life like?
Awesome. Well, I love people. I'm always trying to encourage and enlighten people. So I'm working on a book. We also are working on skits. We're going to kind of not necessarily make a reality show, but we are going to blog our life and our lifestyles a little bit more, so people can actually have access to it and see what it's about. So many people are interested. So you said those DIY videos. We're going to be doing mukbang and all of it. We're going to be doing it all. We just want people to be able to see it. The reason, though, we want to be able to use the content to help people become less dependent on the government. So we're going to be showing people how to, plant food and go back to being those things that gives us our power back. So I feel like the way to print money is to grow your own food. You know what I mean? So if we can eliminate those things where we have to go to them just to be nourished, I feel like we'll be able to make decisions on our own more so than being in the position that we are now. So I love what we all have here together, but I wanted to use our relationship, and that's why we went public with it. We wanted to use our relationship to be able to teach more people. We know how the world works. So, yeah.
I like that. That's dope. And you, Miss Lacey?
I love to teach, so my life coaching is my world. I guess, level of expertise, one would say, is based on relationships, communication, and just healing the inside of yourself. And that's where most of my energy goes as far as that. I just really like making or helping people see that we all have the same issues, come from the same places, and that we can all move forward as a unit. So for me, that's my work, to contribute to just the healing of people in general.
And I'll say on my side, I'm not the teacher. I am not in the camera, but I'm more of the behind the scenes. Like I can be like the backbone. I can be the one who's making sure things are ready for you to get in front of that camera. You know, I'm more hands-on type of person.
Okay, I like it. I definitely like that. So, what are some of you guys' hobbies? I know you mentioned that you love to speak. Both of you guys over here, you guys are like pretty much like the teachers and things like that. Like, do you guys have any particular hobbies that you like to do together, apart?
Oh, sure. We love to watch movies. We like to go for walks. We smoke together. That's a hobby. We like to meditate. I like to draw. I actually write music as well. Lacey sings, so she's working on her music as well. Jamie hums. She don't like to do it out loud. But
she can sing though. She can sing though.
So we like to turn music on. We'll just sit there and vibe out, make up our own stuff. We have a good time.
It looks like it's a lot of fun. So, what is everybody's zodiac sign?
Oh, this is interesting. I'm a Virgo. Okay.
Virgo. I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, you're a Virgo too. Awesome. And they're both Aries. I'm a Virgo with
what? How is that working?
they're both Aries with Pisces rising, which is crazy.
Okay.
Pisces
moons. I'm sorry, Pisces moons, and they're both Aries. Their charts are the same except for like 3 houses.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you know? Okay, so I'm a Virgo, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody who I've been in relationship with have been Aries. Aries and Geminis, and we just don't work out. I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo woman. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but
I've heard a lot about that. Like the Virgo and Aries can be passionate about each other, but can often go wrong as well. I've had a lot of Aries in my life too, so.
That's why I'm like, what is working? Right. You done tamed the Aries with a rising? Oh my God.
I like to consider myself as the Virgo, the calm, the earth. I know you Virgo too, but you might shake on them. You might earthquake on them a little bit. What's your?
I'm just too real. I think that, and it's hard because I'm a woman and I'm just completely open and honest. So most men
Virgos have that problem. Virgos have that problem.
Most men can't deal with it. They be like, whoa.
Most people can't deal with Virgos. They feel like we always trying to speak in their life. We always got something to say. We just want to help them, but they feel like
want to help.
We just want to help, but I help me, it's a little rough. Right. When's your birthday?
September 10th.
Okay, I'm August 26th, early Virgo.
Yeah, you're an early Virgo, so you got that fire. You be to be somebody up type.
That is too funny.
So that's why y'all get along. That's why y'all get along, because you're a little feisty. That's what it is.
I got a little bit.
So let me ask you guys a question. So how did the whole poly dynamic see? I've been following you for a while, Kevin, and I know a couple of people who know you personally. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I've always heard nothing but good things about you. So I know that you've been with your wife for a very long time, right? So how did the whole poly situation come about with you?
So actually, since my video went viral, I was actually separated when that video went viral 4 or 5 years ago. I've been that way since then. Jamie and I separated quite some years back. We've been married for about probably 15 years, I'd say. Strong and stayed together, but then I left. That I just had this thing I was seeking, and I had to have it. I wanted it. I wasn't happy in our current marriage, not because of anything that she did wrong, but because I got married so young and I just couldn't figure it out. So I left. I stayed on for many years, and after those years go by, I meet Lacey in the then Lacey and we become one first. And then we decided to do poly. And of course, Jamie's already decided to do poly herself. She's looking into it herself. When I talked to Lacey about it, telling her what I wanted to do, the lifestyle I wanted to live, she was just like, hey, I'll do it. And she was down with it, down with doing it with Jamie. We presented it to Jamie. Jamie was down, and here we are.
And it just worked out. So, like, do you guys get along real good? I know that's some things that a lot of people will say, like, they cannot be getting along this good. Because everybody is like, I did get a couple inboxes about questions. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to know, like, how does it look so good? Like, you guys look like y'all just get along so good and everything is just great. So how do you guys make that dynamic happen, ladies?
I would say that us having like the similarity in our astrological signs plays a big part, because in a lot of ways we respond to most things very similar. So we're not polar opposites, so it kind of just works. Like, if she comes up to me or, Jamie comes up to me and she says, I would rather it be like this than that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing because this and this and this. She's like, yeah, I don't really like that either. Like, and it could be something as simple as organizing something to even a food, and we'll be talking about food and Kev will say something and she'll be like, oh, I don't like mushrooms. And I'm like, I don't like mushrooms either. We look at each other like, that's weird. So it just came out. It came out super easy for no reason. Like, we finish each other's sentences a lot. We laugh at the same things. Like, yeah. So it's easy and weird.
Yeah. I mean, like, where's Ashton Kutcher at? Like,
yeah,
who's pop out?
Like, am I being punked?
Right. Yeah, it's really weird. And it's funny because Kev brought up smoking. So, like, we'll smoke. And, like, when he gets high, he gets to this place where he want to start venting and talking about, the world. We about to take over the world. Yeah. Me and Jamie be over here like,
in your own world chilling.
He's like, y'all talking to y'all? We be like, yeah. He's like, what I say? We be looking at each other like, I don't know. I'm high.
I'm philosophizing. I'm coming up with a new way to see the world. And they don't even hear
That's what we do.
We ain't heard nothing.
Listen to them like a bunch of potheads. Yeah. I done risen to a whole different being. They right.
So he elevated and he dropping gems, and me and Jamie can't keep up. We be in the fog. Like, yep. And then he'd be like, yep, somebody want to go to the store and get some snacks. Me and Jamie at the same time. We high. Like, go to the store.
Jamie says no. Lacey pretend she didn't hear.
So you're
that is funny. So how do you deal with that? Like, you have two women who are so much alike. Like, do they get on you at the same time too when you doing stuff? They be like, they not cool with?
No, actually no. That's actually never happened. They I'll say this: they are alike, but they have so many ways that they differ as well. Like Lacey, she's your talker. She's the one like the one to be in front of the camera, not to be in front of the camera, but to teach. You know what I mean? To give her philosophies. Jamie's more silent. You know what I mean? She's more the timid, the shy type. You know what I mean? So while if you get them alone and you're in conversation, you can see the similarities, but the way they express themselves is night and day. You know what I mean? But their ideals are very high. So we're all in this thing looking at it like we're trying a lifestyle that neither of us has ever tried before, right? It is difficult, has been difficult as time. It's very challenging, right? But we also understand that what we're trying to do is greater than our desires, right? So we all realize now that we've been traumatized probably in the Western culture more than we thought we were. You know what I mean? So when you decide to go into a relationship like this, make sure that your ideals are right, because once you get into it, you will find out how much you are Western. You know what I mean? Like, because of how we've been programmed. So it's not everything doesn't go because you decide to be poly. The jealousy don't just go, and the things that makes it difficult don't just go. You know what I mean? So
right.
What we try to say is this: like, we know that what we're trying to build is something for generations to come. You know, and we don't want it to fail simply because you know, we want to be, we want all the attention, or we want to be monogamous, or it gets difficult along the way. You know what I mean? So that's what I try to say to encourage all the people who ask us about it. It's like, just know that it is difficult. It's not all peas and carrots. What you guys see is very real, but it's with a lot of work, you know, and granted, I'm lucky to be doing this with people who are very emotionally intelligent, because it's easy to get into those ruts where, you know, you're just being rubbed the wrong way by things you're seeing, and nobody's doing it to you, but you do feel some type of way. And it's hard not to project when you feel that type of way.
Right.
You know, you can take a monogamous relationship, they'll project on each other just because they want to be touched and they don't want to ask for it. They'll start breathing hard, saying nothing's wrong when you ask them, and just totally projecting on each other, and you haven't even said your expectation out loud, you know? So just imagine that, you know, in a home where it's like this, where for me it's difficult. And I don't know if other men have trouble with this, but if I want to be open and run up to Lacey or Jamie and hug them in front of each other, or be romantic with them in front of each other, just spur of the moment without the other expecting it, that has been proven difficult for myself, like to do that, knowing I might offend the other person, and not, you know, because one of the things I wanted to do was, I didn't want me making myself happy to make my spouse sad, and that's why this dynamic worked so well for me. But at the same time, we're all learning that we growing, man, and we call it growing pains. You know what I mean? It's the growing pains can be so rough. It'll make you question: am I poly? Or am I just trying to get out the Western mindset still? You know what I mean? So, and I believe that's why we look so healthy on camera, is because we don't mind talking about this stuff. And we all know that it's hard. We all know that we're trying our best, you know?
So ladies, like, what made you decide to, because Kevin already explained like why he decided to go onto the poly journey. What made you ladies decide that poly was best for you guys too?
Well, I'll go first on this one. It's the fact that I have been married for a real long time, and it was with the Christianity mindset, the Western mindset, and honestly, it could be exhausting. It's like you got to be one person with 50 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you really don't have help. You have to be the wife, you have to be the mom, you have to be the counselor, you have to be so forth and so on. And I was like, there's got to be something different. And so, you know, as we were separated, I began looking at different forms of relationships, and poly just was something that stood out. That was something I was like, that's what I want. I want a help. I want to be able to take care of myself so that I can take care of my family. I needed a balance. And so that was what made me want poly.
Good one. What about you, Miss Lacey?
I would say for me, it was just, I had looked into it in the past just out of curiosity, and I saw the point and the beauty of it all. But I felt like in order for me to pursue that type of lifestyle, the ingredients had to be right. So the people involved had to be a particular mindset and a particular point of view. And honestly, after researching everything, like, I honestly didn't think it was possible. I was just kind of like, it's just the interest, so it's no big deal, you know. I wasn't actively pursuing it. It was just kind of like, it piques my interest, but I don't think them type of people exist. So just something to think about, you know. And then I meet this guy and we hit it off, and he brings it up to me, and I'm just like, with you, it could work. It might, it feels right, you know.
She's talking about me. I don't know if you know
I know she's talking about you.
I'm just playing.
And then he tells me about Jamie, you know, and of course he came out and was like, you know, you guys are very similar, and I'm over here like, yeah, okay.
I know.
But we went to lunch, and during that lunch we were finishing each other's sentences, and I was like, whoa. Like, okay, but we were super cool. Like, the lunch was cool. We talked forever. Like, you know, I had to run to my car to see if I got a ticket because my car was sitting so long in the parking space. because I just lost time. So it was just kind of me moving forward with it was because I felt like the recipe was right.
It was organic. It was very
Yes.
organic. It didn't feel forced or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So it just kind of fell into place, and I feel like that was what made everything flow so smoothly.
When they went to lunch,
it looked like it's working. So Kevin, what do you say to men? Because I know I've been in this position, and plenty of women have been in this position, because you guys are saying that everything flowed organically for you. So what do you say to men out there who are trying to pressure women into this lifestyle only because they cannot control their sexual desires? It has nothing to do with, oh, this is something that I'm passionate about, or that I really want to do. What do you say to those men out there?
oh, I definitely say it's so much more than that. It's not about how many women you can maintain physically. Okay, like most women are sapiosexual and don't even know it. This is not something that's talked about. You know what I mean? Like the mind is very, it needs to be stimulated. Honestly, I always say we all learn from a woman first. You know, period. Every one of us came in this world learning from a woman. Women need to be stimulated mentally, and if you can't do that, you're probably bullying her, or she feels like she needs you, and that's probably why she's still tagging along with you anyway. But women do love to be stimulated. They don't want to be with a guy they always have to raise and to teach up. They want to follow, not necessarily follow as in he's in charge of her, but someone who has a plan and know where they're going and has some direction in their life. You know what I mean? So I always say it's about pouring into your partner. It's not just about sex. I promise you that's the least of it. It's so much more about, and I know you guys know that, fellas know that. If you with a woman, you know it's way more than just sex, right? There's so many emotional needs that tie into that. So, number one, you got to be a good listener. You have to be. Whenever she's talking with you about how she feels, you need to listen. You shouldn't be telling her that she should be okay with this because other women are. She's her. She's definitely her. And if she doesn't see the beauty in it, she may not be monogamous. And so don't say, well, you just got a Western mindset. All that kind of stuff is just unfair. You know, you should lay your plan out for what you're going to do with your family moving forward, and that's whether or not y'all poly or monogamous. Y'all should have a plan on what y'all doing with y'all life if y'all really trying to build and have generational wealth. You shouldn't be just flying by the seat of your pants. And if you poly, you definitely shouldn't be. You have so many other people now that's trusting you to keep this thing going. So yeah, have conversations, be honest, be straight up, and have a plan. Be willing to put the work in, and that's my advice. It's definitely not about sex. If you do that, you're gonna have the wrong idea. Trust me, you'll get nowhere fast.
So what I wanted to say, because I feel like in today's world, whether you're poly or monogamous or whatever, what a lot of people are not doing is taking time to cultivate friendships before they even get into a relationship. Get to know somebody, because it's so many men that are getting in relationships with women and they don't even know their favorite color. You know what I mean? They just know that she got a fat booty and she pretty and all of these things. But get to know, have that foundation. If you have a strong foundation with your woman or your man in the very beginning, then later you guys can discuss the whole poly situation. But if you don't have that, why would you think that a woman is going to look to you and be like, yeah, let's do this?
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's no real trust and no real foundation, like you said, there in the beginning. So that's kind of like my take on it. So pretty much, how I know that you and Lacey were together first after, you guys separated. So how was like that transition for you guys, like going to like weaving together? Because I know you said, y'all hung out, y'all said it was a good fit or whatever. How was that transition, like moving into the home together, having the children and everything? How did that play out for you guys?
I would say actually it all went perfectly. It's kind of funny. It's almost too good to be true. The way the kids were so welcoming of Lacey. They telling each other they loved each other within the first month, and stuff like that. Her and Jamie got along super well, and they have since the beginning. They haven't had one single hiccup yet. if there has been anything that's been trying, I would say is how I express myself since we went into this relationship. Lacey and I, we was courting, we was flying high, cloud nine, John Legend type of cloud nine. But that's because, of course, I was not living with Jamie, of course, and Jamie, she had the children at the time, so it was just me and Lacey. And so Lacey, there was nobody around, so Lacey got me all the time. She got these, dates, and I'm cooking breakfast for her every morning and stuff like that, And so now it's a little different, you know what I mean? So I have all my children now. All of them, they love to hang out with me. They always pulling on me. And even when we are home, I'm not as expressive as I was when I was free in the other place. You know what I mean? So our relationship has changed a bit, and I think we're trying to find that again. Same thing with me and Jamie. We're trying to find our relationship inside the home while in coexist with everyone. Other than obviously, when you're alone with someone, that magic can just flow. Or we're trying to find a way to let that magic flow in the home where it's not, where it can be easily seen and not offensive or anything.
So
it's not that it's offensive, it's just that it's new and we're still growing.
Yeah, so for you, you're being very careful because you don't want anybody to feel like you're feeling this one more or you're feeling this one more.
Yeah, I have this thing where I kind of shut off my romantic side and just become a friend when they're both around me. And they both miss the real me. Well, listen, they're not ready for me to. They're not ready for me to do anything more either. So we're all growing. It's hard for me to do it.
See, that's that Virgo stuff. That's that overthinking it. Because I know
it's hard.
I know you ladies want that romance, don't y'all? Tell them. Tell them you want that romance.
They do.
You need to think of more creative ways. You do.
No, listen. They like it. They like it, but at the same time, it's difficult for them to watch the other person be romantic with me in front of the other one. So it's one of those things where we're growing through that. You know what I mean? So yeah, because they're not intimate with each other. So they're both in a relationship with me. So that makes it a little different.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that because most people, when they think poly, they think, oh, the women got to be bisexual and things like that. Absolutely. So how does sex work for you guys then? Like, how y'all get it in? I'm just saying. If it's like that, like, what y'all do?
No, we schedule our times. We have certain nights where we sleep together. Certain nights when we sleep just individually, like never individually. I would say that. Jamie sleeps with me a couple of nights a week. Lacey sleeps with me a couple of nights a week. Things like that.
I know, but I saw the video where y'all was sleeping in the bed together. Y'all do that too, though, right?
Yes, we do. Every now and then we do.
And you be hot?
And I don't even be caring. I swear I be feeling like the man. It's so funny, but I can be under those covers. And they rub my arm on the side. I'm sorry.
But people be wanting to know. Like, we want to know. I'm sorry. We just want to know.
When it first started happening, we was like, dang, people nosy, asking the weirdest questions. People will ask anything. First time they asked, I'm like, look, don't ask me how I have sex now. Look. Trying to be all serious.
You don't got to go into no details, but
right.
You know what I mean? No, I wouldn't have you do that. But it's like, yeah, no. But I was just curious, like, because I've asked every single couple the same question, and it's crazy because every couple gives me different answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think not one couple has given me the same answer at all. So everything is just different. Like the dynamics are different, and I wanted people to see that because you guys are real people. You know, y'all going through a real circumstance, a real relationship, and a lot of people don't see it as real. They think it's just cute for social media, but this is their real life, and obviously it could impose some issues or it could be a con. So what do you guys think like one of the best things about being in a poly relationship is?
One of the best things. You said what is one of the best things about being in a poly relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say the family. I love family time. I love being able to, just share this with a sister wife. I was like, you also have a friend in the house also. So you got help. It's like, it's perfect. There's like what could be, it's like amazing.
I love the teamwork, but I could say speaking for myself individually, I haven't met a lot of people in my life who I can say are intelligent, inspire me, that I can have a conversation with and not have to dumb my conversation down. I can say that I'm married to two of the most intelligent women that I've ever met. Not two of the most, the two most intelligent women I've ever met in my life. So, yeah, and I'm all for intelligence. I love the mind. Yeah, I do. I've never been happy in my entire life. So.
Oh, that's a good one. What about you, Lacey? You over there blushing and happy?
Goodness, I would definitely say family as well. Like, watching the boys and like just how they cope. Just I don't know. I find myself being hypnotized and just watching them maneuvering around the house. Just little things that they do that I remember, and I'll find myself cooking and remember something one of the boys said, and I giggle to myself. Like I don't know. It's just a real heartfelt situation, period. So I'm like, I love it all.
So I know you and Jamie have 3 children together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you and Lacey plan on having any children?
So we don't have any yet, but we don't know what the future holds.
Look at her.
She be up in the air about it, so that's why I have to keep it up in the air because she be up in the air. So I just say we don't know.
She's like, I don't know, huh?
Because last time I was like, yeah, I know, I don't want one. She's like, don't be saying that.
Because listen, they might be teenagers, but I got 3 kids already.
Oh, so you already got 3? I didn't even know you had any children.
She's talking about.
I'm talking about, yeah.
I didn't even know you had 3.
No, she didn't. She's talking about.
No, I'm talking about his.
I know you was. Oh, you said his children. Oh, but you don't have none.
Oh, no.
And you don't want none, Lacey?
That's what I'm saying. I have 3 and a grandbaby. So I'm like, me thinking about adding to that is like, man, I don't know. It's 4 mouths already. We good.
We're good. I feel you. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. You better than me. I got 5. So
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I have 5.
Boys, girls?
4 boys and 1 girl.
Wow.
My oldest is 21.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah. They said it would be a beautiful baby though.
That is dope.
Look at her face.
They said, well, we have a beautiful baby. Yeah, they say that all the time.
It would though, because y'all be looking so cute together in y'all babies. Y'all do. Y'all have some nice looking babies.
Thank you so much.
So like, what do you think some of the misconceptions about your relationship are? Like, do you guys like have any issues? I see a lot of support that you guys get, but do you have like any negativity that may come your way with your family, friends, anything like that?
Shall I let you guys go? Let you guys go?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I'm about to say, I mean, at the beginning, I mean, we ain't really that close now at this moment anyway, but it's like, I mean, I've heard things being said, but as far as them coming to me face to face, no, I haven't had anything negative. But they more of not talking, it's more of a standoffish. And so I'm like, I'm not going to let anybody corrupt my heaven. I got it here. So until they get it together, then they can stay there and I'll be here. That's
you know what? I had some pushback too because, my family are a really strong Christian family. Mm-hmm. And I had pushback just by doing this series, but I'm like, whatever. Like, y'all, I'm 40 years old. Y'all don't have 0 saying over here.
I know that's right.
It's so crazy. Yes. For me, I would say that when we first went public, of course, we got it from everywhere. Negativity, of course. But I looked at it like a lot of these people who were my family who had something to say. I've been in times where I've almost lost my life due to certain illnesses and things. None of them showed up at the hospital, stuff like that. So I always say, if you couldn't show up when I'm about to lose my life, please do not call me and ask me about my life. Don't offer me not one opinion, because I could have died and I'd have never saw you again. You didn't even show up to see if I was okay. You cannot ask me what I'm doing with my life. That's just crazy to me.
Right.
But I would say that I had a cousin that passed away, and I had to go. We had to go see the family, of course, and spend time with the family. And that was a difficult time because when we first came through the door, they're telling me, "Don't introduce Lacey as my wife, and it'll bother some of the older, old school people in there, and my aunt, she had just lost her daughter, so I did keep that separate. I didn't introduce her at that moment. I didn't want to make her day even worse, but I felt so bad for that. Just having my queen right there, and I didn't say anything. I was doing it because it was for the betterment of, I guess, everybody in the world.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I didn't think I would end up in a situation like that. I'm a person. I'm from the South, but I've only dated Black women, so I've seen on movies and stuff how it looks when you're in a racial couple dating, and how family can be. I felt like that. I felt like that with my beautiful queens. I felt like my family was like holding me back from saying I was with them. Like, you know what I mean? I can imagine now how people feel in those type of situations like that. You know what I mean? So it was rough. But I mean, I wouldn't have held that back any other time. You know what I mean? But because I love to shout it from the mountaintops. I don't care. But yeah, family can definitely put a big stop on you. You gotta, if you guys making this move, you gotta do it for. Think about the generations to come. Your grandkids, kids. Your kids' kids. Like, think about all of that, because you're gonna always have people around you trying to judge you and tell you what life you should live with your one life. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the hardest thing about life, is just simply living it. Because people are gonna always have something to say about your life. I've never understood why people are so concerned about somebody's life that's not theirs. You know what I mean?
Right.
We sit and we see the comments. Sometimes the comments can be so overwhelming with negativity that every now and then somebody will strike a nerve and make you feel probably what they intended on you to feel. You know what I mean? So of course they'll say things like, you manipulated them, or they don't have a mind of their own. You know what I mean? One of the worst is, these women deserve their own man. They deserve somebody to love them individually. In my mind, I'll look at it and say, well, damn, that means they do. They do deserve all the love that they want. Am I doing them wrong? Am I cutting them short? I know I didn't manipulate them, but am I doing them wrong? I mean, it'll make you question yourself reading all those comments. You know what I mean? So they've read some and they saw something that made them feel uncomfortable as well. And so the world just don't care. They're gonna say whatever they want to say at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're weak, those comments will ruin your relationship. I'm telling you.
Well, especially because we're both Virgos, so we could be way more critical on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Like we could really be overthinking something, and we know our heart and our intentions are pure. And I feel like all three of you guys' intentions are very pure, and you can see it. Like, it shines through your aura and everything. So I definitely commend you guys for walking in your truth and being who you are unapologetically, because what that does is that gives other people courage, no matter if they're in a poly relationship or not. It just gives them courage to be who they are. And so many people are not able to be who they are because they're looking at family, they're looking at what society says for them to do. They're looking at all things that really don't matter, because at the end of the day, when you leave this world, you leave it alone.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come into this world, you come into it alone. So I commend you on that. Do you have anything to say about that, Lacey?
No, I think Cam covered all of it. I was gonna say that is somewhat the hardest part. Is I think for me too was, we came into our poly union in a very unconventional way compared to most. So when people got wind of the fact that Kevin and Jamie had been together so long, I was automatically ruled out as the, I'm here as the plaything type situation. And for me, that was difficult, just for the simple fact that I know there's real love there, and it wasn't that type of party. And I'm very who I'm perceived to be is very important to me, especially being in the life coach business. So it was just kind of like that affected me a lot, because I was just like, going to other women, if that's the view that I'm the toy, then it's like, am I going to be taken seriously, or did some part of what I represent, is that non-existent now? And that was, for me, one of my biggest challenges was dealing with that and working my way through that mentally and emotionally, because you realize, just looking at society, how much the westernized view has taken over, so much so that, like, you know, all they heard was 20 years, and they were just like, oh, okay, so when did you guys decide to bring Lacey in? I said, why is that the assumption? I said, he just said separated 8 times, like, you know.
Right.
And it was, but no matter how many times he would say it, it would go in one ear and out the other, you know. Like, we would even have interviews to where they try and almost lead him in that direction and say, like, you know, okay, so when did you and Jamie pick out Lacey? Mike, you don't know that to be true, so why would you word the question like that? Like, you know, why not just say, how did you guys meet? You know,
right?
Or we would go into an interview and they'd be like, okay, Jamie, okay, Lacey, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, and I'd be over there like,
really?
I mean, just like, bro, but it's like, you could tell that that frame of thinking would get to people so much that they would almost purposefully try not to remember you, to let you know that you're not as important.
It was shade. It was definitely shade.
But it's more to just the mindset that, because most minds can't go to a place where 3 people could be in a union, they will automatically discount you. You know what I mean? And it's like, there were instances where it's like being that invisible person in the room, when you know you have such a big voice and such a big purpose and such a big, you know what I mean? And it's like, you're like, wow, like, is this the experience? Because if this is the experience, that's heavy, you know. And it's like, you can't prepare for that. You can't prepare for that. And that's something, even with whether you're in the limelight or you're not, if you're in a relationship and quote unquote, you know, categorized as the second wife, if you will, there's a type of assumed disrespect that you should be expecting because of the position that you took. You know what I mean? So, like, even when you respond to it, they're like, you shouldn't feel that way because you knew what you were getting yourself into. You know that this is recognized and that's not recognized. You know what I mean? And it gives them the right to, in a sense, trample on you. And it's like, even for Jamie, because she is the, you know, technical term first wife, that she has earned the right to be spoken about as if she doesn't love Kevin, or that she was in such a state of disarray that she had no other choice but to allow this woman in. And all of it is based around the idea of marriage. And that's the only reason why people have the view that they have. Jamie must have low self-esteem, because what kind of married woman would allow her husband, you know? And then I'm not legally married to Kevin. So it's like, because I'm not the legal one, I must be a plaything. I must be here for amusement because they lost their spark. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like all of this because you respect this piece of paper so much that we just automatically became these people. And then Kevin is like sitting in the middle. And they're like, well, he must be a mass manipulator. He just wants 2 women. And he made Jamie feel like this and made Lacey feel like this. So they had no choice but to do this.
Look at him, handsome.
It's always a choice.
And all of it is surrounding the idea of legal marriage recognized by the United States. And that's it. You know what I mean?
The thing is, a lot of people don't understand that the reason why they gave people a marriage certificate was basically to monetize it, to make money off of you getting married. That's what a lot of people don't know. That was the whole reason why getting a marriage certificate. So the same things that you can do as a married couple, you can actually do those same exact things when you go into legal binding contracts with each other, other than a marriage license. So a lot of people don't know that.
And it also helps you that the marriage contracts, as the government may have it or has it, it helps the man assume ownership of the woman. That's a slave contract that a slave master had over his slave. Right. It's the same wording. It's what a marriage contract is today. So you're absolutely right. And they use this piece of paper that we know that people get married for many different reasons. So we put so much weight on that piece of paper, like it's anything. That's a social construct. It's just paper, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because our ancestors actually did ceremonies.
Ceremonies. The paper was not relevant.
Right. They actually did ceremonies, which a lot of people don't know. And
Right.
a man can have many wives. That's
Right.
that's biblical.
Right.
When you consummate a marriage, that's marriage.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people don't
Absolutely.
understand. So most of you guys that's out there who's screwing this person, y'all don't even realize that
Those
you're
are
allowing
wives now.
whatever energy that person has in their whole being
Merging.
to come into you.
Mhm.
That's why it's called intercourse.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a level of it's marriage.
Marriage comes from the word merger. Two souls becoming one. When you guys
Right.
you all becoming one, thus that person is your wife. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a piece of
Exactly.
paper. That's the social norm that we've accepted to go into a courthouse and make your marriage legal. And then now we make that holy. And these are not the same things. One has nothing to do with the other.
It sure
And
don't.
so they'll use paperwork or the lack thereof to project on Jamie or Lacey the fact that Jamie has paperwork. Either I wasn't happy or she wasn't good enough, so I went and got Lacey, or Lacey isn't good enough because she don't have it. Or they'll even use Lacey's youth and beauty to make her a toy, right? And so they'll use the history that me and Jamie have to make her old. The fact that Jamie is not our grandparents, they'll use that to make us both old. Like, people are always going to project. They're going to do what they're going to do. I tie a lot of it to that I had a big name prior to my relationship, so people are always going to insult whenever you have a name for yourself anyway. But outside of that, it's a dynamic that people are not used to. So a lot of men are going to say hateful things because they hating. A lot of women are going to say hateful things simply because they don't understand. And that's what we do as human beings, not black or white, human beings. We judge what we don't understand. We don't take the time to think anything through. So we would rather say that women are confused rather than accept that 90% of Africa practices this lifestyle right now, and those women are confused. And are you suggesting that? Are you saying that women can't think for themselves? Like this?
And we all know that African women are some of the strongest women. Like, ooh, I don't know if you've ever been to Africa before.
Absolutely. As I said, we all learn from a woman. Absolutely. And even outside of that, being brought into this world by women, but we all talk about Big Mama. They don't even have a term to describe some old ass man who lives up in your house cooking stuff. They only have a term. Is that Big Papa? That's Biggie Smalls. Nah, that's taken already.
You right? But I will say this, Lacey, regardless of what anybody says about you, I really enjoy watching you speak. I think you are very intelligent,
Thank you.
You just have this I don't feel like you because you look young, I don't feel like you have this youthful thing. It's a lot of wisdom. Let's put it that way. I see a lot of wisdom.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So don't worry about what nobody else has to say. Now, what do you say? Because I want to make sure I word this correctly. I know that I got a lot of these messages, which I kind of cussed a couple people out. I really did. I can screenshot it and send it to you. But I got a lot of these messages. So they really feel like, oh, they think that you put Lacey more in the forefront than you do Jamie. But I don't feel that way because I actually looked at your photos and stuff, and I kind of feel a balance. And then I see, that she's just shy, y'all. She's not like the type that's gonna be on camera like, hey, y'all, let me tell you. So what do you say about that? Like,
Jamie ain't never gonna go live. You can understand that.
Right. That's not her, y'all. So stop it. Stop trying to put her in y'all box. But what do you say to people who say that?
But as far as
for me or Kev?
No,
all of y'all, like, what you say about that?
Oh, I mean, for me personally, I know who Jamie is. Like, so I never really take offense to it. I only really get offended when they come for her in a negative way. As far as them assuming that there's favoritism because of her lack of desire to be in the forefront, I don't really pay that much mind because I see her every day and she's walking around happy. So I don't really pay too much mind to it. But when it comes to like other comments and stuff like that, like I'm usually the first one to get touchy about people saying stuff I
just wanted to address it because it was like a lot of those questions were coming in my inbox, and I just felt like y'all need to let them know, like,
To be honest, Catelayah, a lot of them create what they're seeing actually. we actually we human, y'all. So we get overwhelmed a lot of times with you guys' comments, and y'all always say, "Hey, you're a king, you're a god. You don't have to explain yourself." We also understand that too.
If you
there
don't,
are moments where we're not feeling very king or god-like, and the comments kind of do get to us. You understand?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like there was one time where Lacey was looking at these horses, and Jamie was in the camera, and they felt like Lacey turned the camera, and they said, "Look at her turn the camera as soon as you see Jamie." But it's like, as soon as y'all see Jamie, y'all going to start making comparison, and nobody wants to see that. So you're turning to avoid you guys' reaction because y'all silly and y'all just starting shit. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's the same with me. I feel controlled when I turn the cameras on. If my head, they'll look at a picture of us, and if my head is leaning this way more than to this way, they'll say I love the person who my head is leaning towards. I swear to God, yo.
And even with the,
And I'm sitting here like, I gotta make sure all of our pictures are uniform, straight. We pull out the measurement tape, make sure everything good.
man, you shouldn't even have to do that, yo. Like, come on.
They are crazy, yo. They are crazy, man.
Yeah, you shouldn't even have to do that.
Right.
So I just wanted to get that out because that shit was really pissing me off, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be quite frank, I had to let people know. I done told them a piece of my mind. So obviously, Kevin, you're a very attractive man. So I'm sure you get a lot of women like trying to hit you up and stuff. So I'm sure you do.
I do. You muted there.
I'm sure you get like a lot of women trying to hit you up. So, like, what do you say to them when they be all up in your inbox? Because, girl, I've seen a lot of women like, girl, he phone. Girl,
they show up all the time. That's if I want a third or fourth and all this kind of stuff. But no, I just tell them I'm focused where I am right now. That's not even my vision. I don't even see it. I'm so consumed with what I have. I love what I have. I'm complete. I feel completely complete.
Yeah, y'all hear it, ladies. So stay out of his inbox because he don't want y'all.
I am good.
He don't want y'all, girl. No. He is just fine. So, like, that was one of my questions I was gonna ask. Like, do you guys feel like maybe possibly y'all might want to add another sister wife? You said you was complete, but
I think your silence is gone. I think that's silence.
I was gonna wait for him to react first, but in my head I was like, hell no.
She's asking y'all.
I didn't know. I didn't want to jump out there like that.
Y'all don't think y'all might change your mind down the line, though?
You heard it, ladies. She said no. You heard it, Jamie.
She said they both said no. They
no.
This is hard enough.
It's a hard no for them, y'all. That lets y'all know they not looking for no other sister wives. So, how do you guys overall feel like? I know you said the family and everything. Well, maybe more so this question is for Lacey. So do you feel like a second mother to the children?
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. I think it amazes me how it kind of got a hold of me so fast. Like, I thought it would take more time, not necessarily from myself, but from the kids. Like, I thought it would take a lot more time. Mm-hmm. But seeing where we are now and where we were, so close after moving into our home, it's been fantastic. Like, honestly, I think I was more standoffish with the get to know than the kids were. They were more anxious than me. I was like, this is weird. They too comfortable. What's wrong with them? I was like, they think this is too cool. Like, it's too easy. Like, which one of them gonna surprise me with some other stuff?
They probably was loving it. Like, we get two of them.
Yeah, it was too. Oh my goodness! I'm telling you, I kept going back to them. Like, y'all sure they ain't coming to y'all complaining or nothing? They're like, nah, they good. I'm like, man, you sure? You sure? Like, because I was just like, this is too easy. I'm like, it literally went that smooth for me to almost be concerned with how smooth it went. Yeah. Like, I really was bugging them, like, they not coming to you telling me that, telling you that I'm crazy or nothing. Like, what's going on? What y'all talking about behind my back? I want to know. They're like, oh no, she's cool. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, that made me really happy to know that everything, because I love kids, so I definitely want their experience to be a good one.
We're always talking about.
So how did you guys explain to the children, Jamie and Kevin, like, how did y'all explain to them, like, this is what was going to be taking place?
Sure, I was just about to speak on that. We always talk about different social norms with our children, having deep intellectual conversations, thought-provoking conversations. We always bring facts, just talk about how big the world is and how things look. I always want my children to be open-minded. So they had already understood that there are different types of relationship dynamics that exist in the world. So whenever we went to tell them and talk to them about it, they were just very accepting of it. As shocked as Lacey is, I was just as shocked to see how easily they transitioned. It was really amazing, because you think outside of, okay, it's a poly relationship, you still have this other completely new person that you have to get used to and start navigating around this house with. But man, It was so easy.
I'll say I dropped some tidbits. Even though I didn't know who it was going to be, I'll always be like, yeah, I'm going to get me another wife. I'm going to get me a sister wife. And so it was like,
so you used to like,
it was like I was manifesting it, but I didn't know quite how it was going to happen yet. So it was like, let me drop this little nugget. Let me drop this here. And so it's like they heard it so much. And I was like, okay, it's really about to happen.
So they was kind of ready.
Yeah.
So I would say you guys definitely, if that was the case, you guys definitely did a great job, with raising your children, because a lot of children probably would have taken that completely differently. I know mine would. Mine probably would have been like, Mama, what you doing?
Absolutely.
They would have had a heart attack. So does anybody out there have any questions before we let them go? This is the part where I let you guys ask questions. We don't want to keep them too long. I did tell you an hour. That's just the standard for me. I like to keep my word. So do any of y'all have any questions? Ebony said people don't have emotional maturity. They are stupid. What is somebody? Oh, somebody asked, did you guys dress alike all the time? I think that's a stupid question.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Y'all really do?
Even when we don't mean to.
Even
when we don't mean to.
I'll tell you guys something, just so for all you guys, because I know people say, well, they look so goofy dressing alike. It's so much to it, though. When you see your partner or your team dressing a certain way, you don't have to dress just like them. You find the colors and you make them work to bring your own style to it. So it keeps, for me, it keeps everybody within your own plan. Of course, every day you have your own agenda, but we also want to make sure that the things you do today, that they're going to affect the people who you say is closest to you. So when we dress alike, it's like, yes, we're going to match, but at the same time, bring your individuality, but don't be so individual you forget about this team, because we don't want to make mistakes that's catastrophic to the team around us. So a good team is in uniform. You know what I mean? You're going to have certain things that you do to make yourself pop, bring your personality to it. Well, when we together, we the Rise family, baby. All day.
Right.
So, guys, he already answered. They wanted to know your sleeping situation. He already answered that. Pretty much, I'll just give you guys a recap that, they switch nights or whatever. They have their own personal nights that they sleep with each other. Sometimes they'll all sleep together. It's organic. Let's put it that way. The Prince 07 said, do you all have a family game night? They answered that one too. They said they do that very often. So any other questions, you guys, before we let them go? Are you guys listening? Are y'all just mesmerized right now? Because they answered the questions. And I'm sorry, but I need to stop saying people questions are stupid. I apologize, y'all, because I'm like, that question is stupid. Somebody wanted to know, what do you guys as fathers think about Kevin?
Yeah, I was gonna say me and my father aren't really that close, so
I would say mine, since we've been married for a really long time, like they got along pretty good. I always thought Kevin was a stand-up guy, And then I would say he started tripping once we did this
I
poly
don't know why
thing.
Jerry beat around the bush. That man
He
loved
started
me.
tripping.
That man loved me until he
poly.
heard Jamie was poly with me.
And that was it.
And then, I don't think he liked me no more now. No, he's always loved me. He's always said, "I'm really glad that my daughter met you. You've taken care of the children." Her mother was the same way. At first, they couldn't stand my guts just meeting Jamie, but after a while, they was just like they loved how I treated her. I always taken care of her and provided. But of course, I believe that of course we keep saying Western minded, but old school. Cognitive dissonance, you mix all that up in the pot, Christian, all that stuff up in the pot. Yeah, so no, they don't like me.
Somebody said, would you guys ever consider a reality show?
We've actually had 2 offers of real reality shows, both of which wanted us to be recruiting another spouse, another female, and I'm not interested in doing that, not even for publicity or the money. So I've turned those down. We would be open to something that is just going to film how our life works for people who are interested. We would do that, but I don't want to put on a game for people, so.
Okay.
Yeah. It was going to be like Bachelor,
question.
if you ever seen those type of shows.
Just a regular show to just show y'all like.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah. Somebody said, what's cleaning up the house like as a unit?
It's fun. We just clean. We play music. We all listen to the same type of music anyway. We put on we all like love old school type of music. So we put it on and we just have our fun, man.
Yeah, just vibe out.
Yeah.
Queen B, they already answered the question about how the families feel about their poly relationship. You're more than welcome to rewind it and catch the replay and find that part. I don't know how long ago that was, but they've already answered that question. So I think that's enough. I don't want to keep y'all here. We've been here for 1 hour and 1 minute. Do you guys have any closing comments that you would like to say before we get off?
Sure, please. So first of all, again, thank you, Catelayah, for having us on your show. I love your show. I fell in love with it a little bit more too here recently, just watching your content. I always try to make sure I look at whoever's going to have me on, make sure I know what I'm dealing with, But listen, for all you guys who are interested in knowing more about our family, stay tuned. Come to Kevin Wesley Be The Evolution. We will be filming different type of skits, different type of events that we encounter, things that made us think, self-reflect, learn a little bit more about ourselves while being in this relationship. We're going to take a lot of those things and recreate those type of scenes and show y'all what we were up against poly. So if y'all interested in that, go click the follow button and we'll give y'all that content as soon as possible.
Okay, we got one last question. Somebody said, you all are a beautiful family. I wish you guys the best. But my question is, who usually cooks the most? Hold up, before you even answer that question, I'm gonna say Kevin, but go ahead.
You would have been right a couple of months ago. A couple of months ago. So I've been teaching them how I cook. You know what I mean? So they could cook on their own, but I'm the cook of the house. So I just put it like that. I'm Chef Manardee over here.
He's Chef Boyard Negro.
So, yeah, but here lately, Lacey's been doing most of the cooking for me. So, but other than that, it was me initially. But I told Lacey the other day, I said I got to get back on the cooking and stuff. I got a little.
I got a little
lazy
for
here.
some reason, men love to cook for women.
I do love to cook.
Dad
Jamie cooks too, but Lacey here lately been making most of the meals. But
my dad, he did most of the cooking in the house, for real.
Oh yeah, I love it.
My mom, all she knew how to make when they first got together was Spanish food. She didn't know how to make nothing else. So my daddy was he from the South, he from Arkansas. So he was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work.
So your mother's Spanish?
Yeah, my mother. Yeah, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, nice. Okay, because I knew your name was a flower. That's why I knew it was a Spanish flower. Catelayah, yeah. Yeah, she's mixed. Okay. So her mother is a Black woman from California, and her father is Spanish. So yeah, that's beautiful. So and then my dad is from the South. I just moved to Houston. You said you from the South? You guys live in the South? Yes.
What part?
We're North Carolina.
North Kakalaki in the building. Okay, y'all. So we finna get out. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, Jamie. I really did appreciate you guys coming on. I think you guys are amazing. Hopefully I can have you guys back, especially you, Kevin and Lacey, because I know you don't really want to be talking about no spirituality stuff. But Jamie. But hopefully I can probably have you guys back and we can really get into some spiritual talk. I really would like to talk to you guys about relationships, like period. So I think you guys have a lot to offer because you've been, in your poly relationship, like discovering each other, discovering different love languages and things like that. So I would definitely love to have y'all back. So thank you so much for coming. And we out of here.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Peace, everybody.